Hi there and welcome to Taraji Eco Farm. It's a very beautiful day at the farm. We are a self-sufficient farm and we keep our own poultry, chicken, that's chicken, guinea fowl, turkeys and ducks. We also grow our own organically. We also grow our own crops on the farm organically. And today we are going to be harvesting some of those crops that we grow organically on the farm. And we are also going to plant some very, very new crops that we've been meaning to plant for a very long time. Actually, last week we went to a nursery and got those crops. We haven't had time to plant them, and today is the day that we are going to plant them. We are very excited because it's the very first time that we are planting those crops here, and I hope that they are going to do very well. So come along with us, and I hope that you enjoy this video. Okay, so I'll start off by harvesting some collard greens. There's a very beautiful mess around here, and why I'm calling it a beautiful mess is that this season decided to throw in some peas in a lot of beds that we have. So the peas are hanging on to the collards. It's difficult to weed, but whatever the case, they are all doing very well. Look at the peas. They are very beautiful, beautiful pink and purple flowers. The collard greens have very healthy leaves. And actually, let me just show you the peas are starting to form. You can see here, they're actually starting to form. So peas are one of those crops that easily do well in this area. You can see these are all peas that have started forming. So today I'm going to harvest collard greens and then we'll go harvest the next crop. So for those who followed our journey, you know that collard greens are one of the crops that really influenced our decision to start our self-sufficiency life. And the reason for that is because we didn't know where our food came from. And the ideas we had of where our food came from were not very pleasing. So that was one of the reasons why we started our self-sufficiency journey. These collard greens are kienyeji collard greens that we initially got from a farmer in this area. And that's what we've been planting over and over for the last two and a half years. Yeah. So you can see the size of the leaves. We only use organic compost. Sorry, we only use compost from our farm. And you can see the size of the leaves is very huge, similar to what the guys who use chemicals get. But for us, we grow ours organically. And as I said before, we rarely get issues with pests and diseases during the rainy season. You can see how clean the leaves are, very clean. But now during the dry season, we often get a lot of pests on the leaves. I think the rain really helps just to wash away those pests. So that's why we don't really get any issues during the rainy season. Oops. So you can see why I'm calling it a beautiful mess. There are peas that have held on to the collard greens. So even weeding is becoming a challenge, but it's all good. So I've picked enough collard greens for one meal. Remember we said for us, we come to the farm every other day, actually every day. So if we need something from the farm, we always come to the farm. You can see there are a lot of leaves ready for harvesting, but today we only need this much. And now we are going to harvest spinach. Yeah, so at Taraji Eco Farm, we have about 4 vegetables that we use with ugali and just daily vegetables. That's the collard greens. We have spinach, we have amaranth, and lastly, we have the pumpkin leaves. We've tried before to grow saget and what is it called? And managu, African nightshade. Not very successful, but we do get some that grow as weeds, the managu. So, but we rarely harvest them. So for now, those are what we have. Definitely in future, we intend to also add the managu and the saget. But for now, let's harvest some spinach. So this season actually, this spinach is only in this bed. We didn't plant a lot of spinach, and the reason for that is I've not been very successful with spinach because whenever it rains, the plants always die. But for whatever reason, this time round, um, they have no issues actually. Uh, so I'm just thinking maybe I will add some more to this bed and to other beds. But for now, this is all we have for spinach. But we have a lot of collard greens. We also have a lot of amaranth right now. We have a lot of amaranth plants. Some are not very big, but we always harvest amaranth alongside our collard greens. Yes, so we just harvested the collard greens. Now we are going to harvest some spring onions. Spring onions are also one of the crops we have in almost all the beds on our farm. And they're quite big, by the way. They're quite fat. When we started farming, the funny thing was we used to see a lot of um, healthy produce online. And we used to ask ourselves, when will we get to that point where we are getting very healthy produce? And the secret is just compost. There's nothing else that we are using. So if you have doubts about organic farming, this is a true testament that you can still get very healthy crops by using natural organic ingredients. So let's harvest a few spring onions. So you can see what I'm doing. I leave one here. I've left that one. Then I've picked this two. So I'm going to harvest some more. If you can come closer and just show them how fat. Maybe I think the word is fat. Look at how fat they are. So I'm going to pick 3 from this batch, and the 2 will remain. So that's the secret of having spring onions throughout the year, throughout the season. So next time we come, we'll have some more spring onions on that area. And I'm going to harvest some more here, and always make sure I leave at least one from the batch. So harvesting a bit more. Some are quite deep, but I've made sure I've left one. Look at those roots. But they are fat, look, very fat. They're very fat, look at that. So a lot of compost, that's all we've used to grow our spring onions. Okay, so finally, let me harvest this batch. Then I'm going to leave some 2 from this batch. So some of the roots are quite deep. Look at that. Amazing, amazing spring onion harvest. And you can see there are 2 varieties, by the way. These are different varieties from this one. So this is what we found the people in this area growing, and we grow it all over the place. I think this one we bought seeds, and we've also just still been propagating. Like if I get these 2, I just remove one and plant this one. That's how we've been increasing the spring onions on the farm. So you can see one of the benefits of growing a variety of things is that every day, every other day, you have something to harvest from your farm. Instead of, like now, if we just had maize on this farm alone, we'd have waited for 4 months, 5 months for us to get any harvest from the farm. But since we have a variety of crops, we're always harvesting new things. And for instance, now, this cauliflower, it's a trial that we did for the purple cauliflower. We didn't know it will do so well. And actually, we had a bit of an issue because I told you about the cow that came into our farm. So it ate a bit of the leaves. But surprisingly, when we came back this last week to the farm, we found the cauliflower has a purple head, and it's very beautiful. Look at that. It's so beautiful. So I'm really encouraged by this, and I think we'll get more seeds for the purple cauliflower. And because cauliflower and broccoli, I usually miss the timing for harvest. So you saw the last broccoli actually flowered. So I don't want to miss this one. So I'm going to harvest it. I'm not going to wait for the head to get any bigger. I might miss this cauliflower. So I'm just going to harvest it. Yeah, so this is the cauliflower. Looks very interesting. I'm sure the kids will be happy to see a purple cauliflower. They've never seen this one before. So yeah, that's very nice. So we have another beautiful mess because of the peas. So this bed usually has spring onions, but some of them have they're actually like lying down because of the peas, the weight of the peas. And of course, I spoke about the weeds, the managu weeds that you get on the farm. This is one of them. So this is what they usually look like. But we usually don't eat them. Maybe we'll try this time because there are many on this bed. There are so many. Maybe I can transplant a few. But the reason we came to this bed is because we had this plant here, which we initially thought was a gourd, but it's not actually. A gourd looks like, I think it should be closer to a pumpkin. What we've discovered is that it's like most of the gourds that we planted actually did germinate. Probably the seeds were not okay. So hopefully we can get other seeds, but we'll keep checking to see if any of them will germinate. However, if you come closer, we are thinking this is courgette. I've never harvested courgette before. I don't know how to tell whether it's ready. This looks ready. It's even yellowing. I don't know about, oh, I had been meaning to harvest this one, but now it's rotten. I can feel, let me just show you how big it is. But I can feel, let's open it up. Why not? Oh, oh, ah, that's disgusting. It's a lot of worms. So we'll give this to the chicken. We give this to the chicken. That's a bit disappointing. I was actually really looking forward to harvesting that one. So we'll wait for the others. Hopefully we'll be able to harvest them in good time. I hope this one that we got is actually okay, but we'll see. This one looks, it's very firm, unlike the other one. It's very firm, so hopefully it's okay. And then we have so many more that are growing. And somehow, the leaves of this plant, by the way, were very healthy, but they've started getting this white stuff. I'm not sure what that is. The leaves were quite healthy like a week ago, but now it's like there's an issue with the crop. But we'll keep researching and see what we can do to this crop. Yes, so these are the amaranth plants that I was talking about that usually harvest from. We have other smaller ones. Some are this size, you can't even see them, that are actually growing. So at some point, I think this place will be full of amaranth. But we have some leeks that are very healthy, and I think they are ready to harvest. So I'll pick a few. So let me just pick this one first. Look at that. Organically grown, very healthy. So I've harvested this leek, and there are some more on the same bed, just different positions. So look at that, very healthy. And you know, we have leeks on different beds, and they were all very healthy. So you can see the soil in this area, the way we've been feeding it with a lot of compost, the way we've been rotating our crops, is actually helping the soil in this area, because we never used to get such huge harvests. So I'm going to go to another bed and then we harvest some more leeks. Yes, so now we're on another bed. On this bed we have a lot going on. Our strawberries are flowering. These are strawberries, they're flowering and they've started producing fruit, but they're not ready. But we have some leeks, as usual. So I'm going to harvest, I think I'm going to just harvest one from this bed, then wait for the others to fatten. Look at that. So our soil is getting better by the day as we continue to add compost, which we get from our chicken and guinea fowls and turkeys and also rabbits. And then on this bed, we also have carrots, which I want to see whether they are ready. So I'm going to check whether they are ready. I had checked during the day, earlier in the day. I can see the width is not that bad. The length could be better. I do have other carrots in another bed that I suspect could be okay, could be ready also. Let me see, there's another one. So this season I've not planted a lot of. Oh, we actually planted a lot of carrots, by the way. It's just that majority of them are quite small. And then you see these leaves. These leaves we feed to our rabbits. So it's a very circular system. So these leaves we feed to our rabbits the same way we feed the weeds from the farm to our rabbits. Poa. So these are some of the other carrots that we have. This is the size. Of course, we have encroachment from the pumpkin, but these carrots are younger than the ones we just uprooted. We have some older ones on another bed, which I think could be also ready. So we'll go and check those ones. For the smaller ones, we have these ones, and then we have others on another part, almost the same size. So not that many, but enough for us. So one thing that we've realized about the cauliflower is that it has some shoots that are coming from the side. We actually wanted to just uproot it because we don't think another head will grow from it. You see these younger shoots? I'm not sure they can give us another cauliflower. For now, I don't know if I'll be able to cut these. So that I'm not sure whether I'm spoiling it. But I think the younger shoots should be able to grow. And then we give this to the chicken or the rabbits. So I'm going to carry this for them. Yes, so these are the other carrots that I was talking about. I felt like they were ready to harvest. But let me just, okay, not bad. Let me try another one. Oh, more like what I would have expected. Let me see whether we have some others here. Oh, okay, much better than the other bed. I think they must have been in the soil for the same period of time. Look at that. Look at that. So by the way, our kids love eating raw carrots. So I'm sure today they'll be very happy. We have some smaller ones. This also is ready. Okay, that's enough. The others we can give them a week. So not bad. Looks like we can actually add more carrots on this bed because there's a lot of space. There's quite a lot of space on this bed. Yeah, so now we are on a different bed. On this bed, we have sweet potatoes, collard greens, spring onions. We had some potatoes over here, but I already harvested them. Now, we have one of the surprise crops that we've been meaning to plant. And one of them is chamomile. So we are going to plant 2 chamomile plants uh, in this bed. Hopefully, they're not like mint, because mint really colonized the other beds. We had to uproot it from the bed and plant it elsewhere. So yeah, we are going to harvest we are going to plant these 2 chamomiles here, and then we'll plant the other crop elsewhere. So let's first get to planting this one. So one of the ways we plan to use chamomile is making chamomile tea. So we've seen that the plant can grow bushy, in which case if it does, uh, we just get rid of some of the collard greens. We have a lot of collard greens. So we have 2 chamomile plants. As I said, we had potatoes, and the soil is very, you can see I'm digging with my hands, even though I have a djembe there. The soil is not that bad. So this soil is also very loose for the chamomile. That's why I'm not moving it. I'm not breaking it. It's very loose, easy to come off. So it will be able to absorb enough water. And there we have our 2 chamomiles. So usually I don't get inside the bed when planting, by the way. Oh, see, I left some potatoes. Usually don't get inside the bed when planting, because this bed is accessible from both sides. But because we are shooting, I can't plant from that side. So yeah. And the reason for that is that the more you step on the soil, the more it compacts. So that's why we don't usually get inside the beds. So we are just done with the chamomile. And now this is our second crop that we've always wanted to grow, lemongrass. So we have quite a number. I'm actually going to separate these, like these two, so that we have more plants. I have some 3 holes here. The others we are going to plant off camera because of the amount of work that is needed. But yeah, so lemongrass, we also use it in our tea, just like the chamomile. And it's very nice. It has a very nice fragrance. Is it a fragrance? It's very nice. Yeah, and you can see we are planting 3 of them in this area. Let me just separate and pick one. So, so this area is actually a water channel that we have on this farm, just to prevent water from eroding the soil. So this lemongrass is also going to help in that aspect. But the others will not plant in the channels, just 3 of them. And because they'll multiply, so they'll assist us to hold water in this area. Oops. I'm also going to separate these ones. I hope it comes out with the roots. Quite hard. And the last one here, then we'll go and plant the rest off camera. Looks like this one, I can't get an extra one. So I'm going to plant all of it here. We hope that the water that settles here is not going to affect them, although it doesn't settle for long, but we hope it's not going to affect them. So we have these three that you need to look for space for on the farm. Uh, the farm is quite full, but we look for space for these three because we really need to have lemongrass, and maybe even some of you may want lemongrass and we can sell some of it to you. You never know. Yeah, so we look for some space for this. Yes, so we've planted 4 of them here, the ones that we separated. This area is actually very close to what do we call those trees? Blue gum tree. We call this area is next to blue gum trees. So we rarely plant things on the ground. You can see we have a lot of plastic containers, mostly with spring onions and tomatoes. We have some with collard greens. But this area, we just generally had an issue with the blue gum. So, but hopefully the the lemongrass will be able to survive. We've not planted on the ground, I think, for a year now. Maybe a year, yes, or less. So yes, let's see how they'll do on this area. So we have some on the channels and then these ones. Yes, so we hope that you've enjoyed today's video. So in today's video, we've actually harvested quite a number of things. We started with collard greens, then we harvested some spinach, we harvested some spring onions, some very fat leeks. We also harvested purple cauliflower for the very first time. And then we harvested some carrots. Yeah, and I'd had earlier harvested some potatoes. So, and you see, even our animals will not go without something beneficial to them. They'll eat the carrot leaves and also the cauliflower leaves. And I forgot, we also harvested our first courgette on the farm. So we hope that you enjoyed today's video, and we hope that we continue to inspire you on your self-sufficiency journey. Remember to share with your friends. Leave a comment, tell us um, what you've learned from us, or give us tips. Even ourselves, we are on a journey to learn how to grow our own food efficiently and in a very sustainable way. Give us tips on the comment section. And yeah, we'll see you on our next video. Bye-bye.